old lady, you get stabbed. What's gone wrong in this country?
Can I correct one thing? This is terror-related. If you ask any mum or dad in this country, they will tell you they're terrified of their child being stabbed to death. So it is terror-related.
Well, you know what? I like that, actually, and I'm going to start using that because it is terror, because it's terrifying, isn't it? It's
Yes.
terrible as well, to be fair. It's terrifying. The idea now that if somebody walked into even this room here now and said, can I have your laptop or can I have your phone? And I said no. Well, what? Hang on a minute. I'd have to say yes, otherwise I'd risk getting stabbed. And this is bonkers, Nick.
It's become so routine and almost an everyday occurrence that we don't even read the stories anymore now. I think the only thing different about this is it's happened in the city, not London City, I mean in the financial city. So middle-class people have seen this and rich people would have seen this, and they don't normally see this sort of crime and this sort of violence. And we have to ask ourselves, why is this happening? The answers and the solutions to this are very simple, but it takes a backbone to implement what needs to be done. And we can trace this back through decades now. This is about fatherlessness, no fathers in the home, young people with no direction, failing education, failing in life, looking to other gang members for leadership, for companionship, for respect. This has been happening for 20, 30 years, and this is what we need to address in the long term. In the short term, it's all about stop and search.
You've raised a point there that a lot of people shy away from, and I'm glad you haven't. Now, we don't know the exact specifics of the individual or individuals, I suppose, responsible for this particular incident. But what we do know, Nick, is that stabbing is now commonplace and that young people are walking around with knives on a incredibly regular basis. And then more people are walking around with knives just in case they bump into someone else with a knife. And you think that a big part of that is because there aren't enough fathers at home?
That is the root cause to most of our social problems. But one of the root causes to carrying a knife is, you've said one of it, it's the nuclear deterrent. If I think you've got one, I best get one. So we've got people carrying knives who normally wouldn't carry a knife but have been scared into it. And then people will also say, oh, lock them up for 30 years. That's the answer to that. But that isn't the answer. Longer prison sentences don't deter crime.
Well, what is it? What is it? More stop and search? Is it more... Sorry, we're a bit pressed for time, but is it more stop and search? Right. Because I'm sick and tired. You go and tell those people there who were on their way to work this morning, who ended up in a puddle of their own blood in the City of London, or young lads or girls in Manchester, in Birmingham, in Liverpool, and wherever, right across this country, parents who do not sleep at night because they think that when their child walks out the front door, they might be stabbed to death. And you told them that stop and search is some kind of racist, bad thing. Surely not.
No, absolutely. And what stop and search does is it increases the likelihood of you getting caught. The risk of getting caught is what reduces crime, not the sentence. You don't care about sentences if you don't think you're getting caught. It's the risk of getting caught. We need to increase stop and search, but it is controversial and it is classed as racist, which it isn't. But there's an answer to this, a simple answer. We go to the communities who suffer with knife crime, and we have a small referendum in each council ward. And if those people in those areas vote for more stop and search, they get it. So when the police are accused of racism, the answer is the people who live in this area want it, and we're doing what the people instruct us to do. That's how it should be.
Nick, I'm bang up for that, and I'd support you wholeheartedly, and maybe we should be picking up on that a bit more here at GB News and on GB News Live, where local referendums, really. Do you want stop and search?
Yes.
Do you want more stop and search in your area, right? And then if the overwhelming majority of the public vote for it... I mean, by the way, I question who says no to this. I can understand the odd person who's been stopped 18 times in their life, some of it by the odd racist police officer. I can understand that, and I can understand your gripe. But I can't help but feel like the vast majority of the people who are against stop and search are people who've got something pretty big to hide. Nick Buckley, thank you very, very much. He's been campaigning